quickly, so it's fairly obvious that if and when he can get by, as long as the cars remain healthy, he'll be able to get away. But of course Rosberg must be a considerable problem to him. He's driving extremely well, as generally expected. His talents have been fairly long recognised. It was just a question of getting the right car, as of course for so many people. That's one of the Ligiers. Reddy Cheever just pulled off onto the grass. No apparent reason, but probably a breakdown.
Well, the Talbot Ligier cars with their V12 Matra engines were very, very unhappy in practicing. We're looking at the battle between Villeneuve, the leader, and Piquet in second place as they complete lap 20, and they're starting to close up now on tail enders, and it's going to become very critical all of a sudden about how cleanly the leaders can close up on and get past the tail enders. The tail ender at the moment is clearly one of the yellow ATS cars, and it will therefore presumably be Winkelhock, because we know that Eliseo Salazar, the Chilean driver, is well up in the field. There is the last car, and there are the first three, and they are on lap 21. And look at Rosberg closing up and trying to get through on the inside. Now Rosberg goes round the outside, and it's Piquet, the world champion, that he's challenging, and Piquet is right with Villeneuve. What a magnificent Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yes, we can now see that Piquet was ideally placed coming out of that corner, but it looks to me as if the Ferrari is still pulling away, despite the fact he's giving Piquet a nice hole in the air to go through. He's pulled away a large amount, and so the Ferrari has got considerably more power, or more straight line speed anyway, than the Renault had. So the manoeuvre that Piquet used to pass René Arnoux doesn't look as if it's going to work here. He's going to have to find a new way to get round, and of course he's got to cover his rear at the same time, because Rosberg's leaking about in his mirrors and ready to pick up any mistake that he might make.
Well, one tail ender lapped, they're closing up on another one, and the three went past the ATS as one. Villeneuve, the Charger, in the Harvey Postlethwaite designed Ferrari with its V6 turbo engine, leads from Piquet and Rosberg.
Yes, once they get him up to the back markers more thoroughly, of course, the potential advantage is always to the man behind, because if a back marker does interfere, Rosberg pressing away still, if a back marker does interfere, of course, then the only thing that the leader can do is lose his lead if things go wrong for him, and at the same time the guys following are going to be looking for every possible opportunity to nip through if there is any confusion that are created by a back marker. We've got one in front now. This is a situation I couldn't quite see who it was.
It's the Osella of Jean-Pierre Jarier, I think, as Villeneuve goes through, and I can tell you that Niki Lauda is in trouble on our lap chart. Niki Lauda is dropping down through the field, although we're concentrating on the first three, and in the background, the last of the cars you can see is the fourth place man, Riccardo Patrese. Lap 22 then, and it's Villeneuve leading, Piquet second, Rosberg third. You can see them. In fourth position it is Patrese, in fifth position it is Prost, in sixth position it is Watson, in seventh place it is René Arnoux, in eighth position it is Mansell, in ninth place it is Carlos Reutemann slipping back, in 10th position slipping back Niki Lauda, in 11th place Salazar, who's moving up, in 12th place it is Didier Pironi, who has come up one place after spinning off earlier on. The leaders, lap 22. Villeneuve, Piquet, Rosberg, Ferrari, Brabham, Williams. In the background, the second Brabham of Riccardo Patrese. Very bumpy, very demanding, especially at the end of the long straight, which is some 3/4 of a mile long, and which leads into the resurfaced but still appallingly bumpy, long, sweeping left-hander. Villeneuve, Piquet. Remember that Nelson Piquet has fought his way up from 5th position. Now, is he going to get through and take the lead from Villeneuve as they're starting to close up on another tail ender? The French-Canadian in the Ferrari, leads the Brazilian in the Brabham, leads the Finn in the Williams. And this is one of the last races that the magnificent FW Frank Williams 07 Williams will be driving in, because the new FW 08, the Patrick Head designed car, is going to be appearing at the Imola Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, after the next one at Long Beach. And Keke Rosberg, the third man that we're looking at now, was out testing it at Brands Hatch before he went to Brazil, and was sensationally fast, and it's going to be a real challenger for the turbos. But at the present moment, the turbos that we didn't expect to do so well at Brazil, because they haven't got the power advantage. There's Rosberg. Rosberg is trying to get through and he's through. Magnificent. Keke Rosberg on lap 24 is through into second place ahead of Nelson Piquet.
And he's just lost it again. Yes, he just lost it again. He went into that corner. He caught Piquet napping a bit then, I think. I think Piquet was a little bit slow out of the previous corner. Rosberg came at him very well. And unfortunately, having done an exceptionally good manoeuvre, I think he got a little bit carried away, went into the corner a little bit quickly when he'd already won it, and going wide as a result of that allowed Piquet back in. Here we're going to see it in action replay. You see Rosberg dives out, Piquet comes over, realizes his mistake, tries to squeeze him, and in fact probably succeeds in squeezing him enough onto the inside that Rosberg slid wide as he went into the corner.
Take that, says Rosberg to Piquet. Oh, no, you don't, my Finnish friend, says Piquet, and takes back the second position, which is where he is now. So, no change, but I would be more than surprised, I would be amazed if the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is on lap 24 and which has to run to 63 laps and is therefore only about 1/3 distance completed, finishes with these three in the same positions. Well, Villeneuve is past Jarier and Piquet, and now Rosberg. Yes, Rosberg really is putting on an outstanding performance, because he's driving with terrific aggression. He's being very, very brave, but not silly. There we've got one of the arrows in the pits. That's Mauro Baldi, the Italian driver, in the pits for tyres, presumably. Well, no, it doesn't look like tyres. They were fiddling around with the gearbox or something at the back of the car. I was wondering if it was tyres, but doesn't seem to be. As I say, Rosberg is driving with terrific aggression, but at the same time it looks well controlled and things, and is really showing everybody what an outstanding talent he had. Niki Lauda, who was in 10th position, is out of the race. He has retired. We haven't seen him on screen, but take my word for it that 3 times world champion Niki Lauda is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix and 10th position, which means to say that now up into 10th position will go Didier Pironi in the Ferrari, the second of the 2 Ferraris, and the first of them is the one you're looking at now, with Nelson Piquet almost sawing the Ferrari's gearbox at the back of it in half with the nose of his Brabham BT49D, which you will notice, unlike the South African Grand Prix, has got aerofoils on the nose. It is a constant battle in World Championship Grand Prix racing these days to get the balance and the downforce distribution right by adjusting the aerofoils at the front and the aerofoil, which is called the wing, at the back of the car. In South Africa, the turbocharged Brabhams didn't have them. Here at Brazil they have, and the Brabham seems to be handling superlatively well. As for that matter, hats off to Dr. Harvey Postlethwaite, does the carbon fibre chassis Ferrari of Gilles Villeneuve. The first 3 still magnificently together on lap 26. Villeneuve, Piquet, Rosberg, and those 3 are pulling well away now for the battle in the lead from the 4th position man, Riccardo Patrese, who is also clear of 5th position man, Alain Prost. And you'll notice that René Arnoux is now right out of the running, and in 6th position it's John Watson in the Marlboro MP4. So lap 26, Villeneuve leads Piquet, 3rd Rosberg, 4th Patrese, 5th is Prost, and 6th is Watson. James, you've been in this situation situation of heat and bumps. What's it like?
Rosberg just having a go, but I don't think he's close enough. No, it's very, very hard physically, Murray. I mean, particularly now. I haven't driven the current generation of Grand Prix car, where they've taken practically all the suspension away from it, because, of course, the car, it's in an attempt to get the chassis not to move up and down, so they keep the skirts in contact with the road in order to get their downforce. But, of course, it does make it very, very uncomfortable. The G-forces are really huge now, and it's getting to a point in Grand Prix racing where they're getting very close to the limit of Piquet nibbling away, but he just not quite in position. Oh, he's practically leaning on the Ferrari, but of course they get to a straight and the Ferrari just squirts away. It's really got a huge quantity of power. But Rosberg is challenging again, the same corner that he had to go last time. Yes, he's inside, and this time he's probably through, because he stayed beside and didn't attack it so heavily, and he's beautifully done it. Now, can Rosberg do anything about the Ferrari? I think Rosberg's probably the slowest on the straight of these three drivers, or cars rather, and I suspect that he'll be in trouble with Piquet attacking him down the straight. Probably not this lap, because Piquet's dropped back a little bit, but when Piquet gets back on terms,